metrics among the nerds than Justin Herbert. Are we seeing it?
Yeah.
Are we seeing the hype become real? That's a nice entree. A nicer entree, I'll admit.
Before I go to the next story, I just want to acknowledge that is the first time in all the years this show has been on television that the words poo-poo platter have been in it, so congratulations on that. Let's move to the continuing drama of Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and the Clippers. On some podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out, I've never heard of it, there has been reporting that indicates Steve Ballmer may have circumvented the salary cap with Kawhi Leonard and a company called Aspiration with ties to the Clippers. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver at first said he'd never heard of Aspiration, then he backtracked. He has said the NBA will investigate. Pablo, in what sort of a spot does this Ballmer investigation put Silver?
I believe this is the biggest test of Adam Silver's tenure as commissioner. And I say that knowing that there are other candidates, but he came in with Donald Sterling. That was, in retrospect, an easy call. Documentary evidence, a tape. In 3 days, they said, banned for life. This, poetically almost bookending that, Ballmer coming in because of that, Ballmer now being at the heart of a story, Tony, in which he poured in $118 million over 18 months, tracking alongside secret payments no one knew about to Kawhi Leonard that total $28 million in a no-show endorsement contract and $20 million more in a stock deal that he was signed to. We're talking about $48 million outside of the cap, paid by the richest owner in all of sports. And so the question for Adam Silver, to be blunt about this, is, do the rules matter? You're a steward of integrity. The inconsistency of commentary around what you knew, and in honor of Robert Redford this week, what did you know and when did you know it? That question applies to the commissioner in terms of how he himself has been presented, as well as the investigation, which has taken, for me, many sources and 3,000 pages of documents.
So this is your story. I applaud that. I know very little about it. I know there are no-show jobs all over the world. But if this is provable, you have to throw the book at the Clippers. I will say this. I thought of something that Adam Silver said last week. He said the burden of proof is not on the Clippers to establish their innocence. It's on the league to establish their guilt, if there is guilt. And I get that.
He did say that.
Innocent until proven guilty. That is the American judicial system. And that's fine. But, and here's my but, the NBA is not the FBI. Okay? I wonder about how aggressive they're going to be in conducting this investigation because they have interest in this. And it just seems to me that Adam Silver would like to see all of this go away. I wonder how you feel about that.
Shrinking the PR problem is my default assumption for what the goal is. The problem with the shrinkage that he desires is that this story has been shocking to me in terms of its resonance, not just among the Board of Governors, I've spoke to 4 owners now who say this should be proportionately punished, but with the fans. Tony, there's a credibility question around, do you actually care about the integrity of your game? And by the way, you're totally right. If this is in fact a violation, as I've been reporting it, the rules in the CBA say direct or circumstantial evidence, and you must explain it, quote unquote, rationally. Rationally is an adverb. What's the word? It's rationally. How do you spin this? No one has explained the most simple thing I reported. There is a secret endorsement deal that 7 sources told me was because there was a circumvention of the salary cap between the founder of Aspiration and Steve Ballmer, and no one has explained why that deal was never announced and why he didn't have to do a single thing for it, and I await the results of the NBA's own investigation on that.
On the other hand, who wouldn't want a deal like that? A no-show job for millions of dollars. Let's take a break. Coming up, the Mariners and Astros start a huge series tonight. Which team will we be rooting for?
And who is more likely to snag the final AL wildcard slot, the Red Sox or Guardians?
Pablo, the NBA All-Star Game next year is at Steve Ballmer's arena. Is that in play for this? I mean, is there any doubt about that? Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves because Pablo is a substitute co-host and can't hang with the king. What's first?
Toss-up. They're tied atop the AL West in meet tonight. Which team are you rooting for, the Mariners or the Astros?
I respect the Astros. They've been to the playoffs 8 straight years. They lose players, they replace players, they're always competitive. But I find Cal Raleigh and the Seattle Mariners right now completely irresistible. I mean, when has a catcher ever led the league in home runs and RBIs? He's got 56 and 118. He's 8 clear in home runs. He's 10 clear in RBI. And you know what I like when he hits a home run? I like when he carries the trident around in the dugout. I like that. We haven't talked about the Seattle Mariners much as a nation. We really haven't. The last time was in 2001 when they won 116 games. 2001 was the first year we started this show. It's an eternity ago, and you were in the 3rd grade.
I was, I'm trying to do the math here, 2001, I was a sophomore in high school. I remember, no, you didn't have hair then either. My memory is sharp in some regards. Look, the Mariners, what they did in 01, to your larger point, I just wonder if it matters if they don't win it. I do. Like, that was the story of that team. You have the most wins in the regular season, and guess what? The Yankees come along, and I know what happened in my childhood from there. So to me, the morality play here is the Astros, and maybe it's because I have fair play and alleged cheating on the brain. But to me, what's so impressive about this team is that it's so clear that they didn't need to cheat. This franchise is actually really incredible. They are so well run, even in the absence of the architect. They are so well stocked via the farm system. And you ticked off a bunch of the ways that they impress me every year, torturing the Yankees in the present tense. So them, weirdly, I want them to win to prove that it's an indictment in an even grander way that they tried to cheat in order to be as good as they actually are.
All right. What's next?
Toss up, which team do you favor for the 3rd AL wildcard spot? The Red Sox or the Guardians?
And I'm going back to what Buster Olney said on this show a couple of days ago, that the Red Sox would be severely wounded by the fact that Roman Anthony wasn't playing. And in fact, they're 5-8 since he's gone, and they are scoring one less run per game. I will admit I don't know anything about Cleveland. I mean, I don't think anybody does. I know they can't hit. They're 21st in the majors in home runs. They're 29th in OPS. Their run differential is minus 23, so they probably shouldn't even have a winning record. But they can pitch. They can pitch when it matters.
Yes, they can.
In the last 2 weeks, their collective ERA is 1.30, which is the best in the majors. I believe they've won 12 out of 13 games, and I think in only 2 of those games have they allowed more than 2 runs. So I'm gonna ride with Cleveland on this one.
Yeah, I will admit that my word cloud for the Guardians is Jose Ramirez in giant font and then a lot of smaller words.
Yes.
That is mostly my understanding as well. The pitching has been impressive to the point of apparent unsustainability. So I will go Red Sox because of that, actually.
Okay.
I've been citing advanced numbers for a while. They suggest that the Guardians must regress to the mean at some point. The Red Sox, the number I'll point out is that they have the 5th.
It's September 19th. It's September 19th. When?
It's a good point. The Red Sox, though, have the 5th easiest schedule remaining. And for that reason, I like their chances. I like those numbers mattering. Speaking of a schedule advantage, which
honestly,
you cited earlier in the show. You were talking about schedules.
Your slavishness to numbers has become insane. That's it. A certain urologist just called asking me to take it easy on his son. So we'll take this final break, and when we return, we will update you on Jayden Daniels' status for this week's